Peace and love. Hope you're doing well, feeling good. So in this video, I'll be bringing forward an energy and we will be seeing what this energy has to say. Now, I think I already have mentioned it to you guys that I have been feeling the energy of Anne Frank around me over the last few weeks. I'm not really sure on what the message is that her energy has to bring forward, but we're just going to set the intention to connect with her and see what she has to say. Now, what we will do is we'll pull a few cards. I'm feeling oracle cards, and then maybe we'll close our eyes and channel a message from her. Now, let's just burn some sage. For some reason, I'm getting hearing the word opal. Now, I'm pretty sure opal is a crystal that is for dreams and your mind space and imagination. Okay. I'm being brought straight to, obviously, the amount of time that they spent behind the bookshelf. That imagination was key in keeping like sanity. But what we'll do first of all, I think we'll pull a few cards from the Staff-Keeper's Oracle and see what we have coming forward. So let's just set the intention to bring forward messages of love and guidance from the energy of Anne Frank and the energies around Anne Frank. Okay. So let's see what we have coming forward. The few times that I kind of connect with the energy before, briefly, I was getting like something to do with like proximity of like the space that they was in. Earth, learning how to be human in a world but not of it. Double mission, light worker starseed, serve the world by being you. Okay, so instantly, for some reason, I'm getting that it almost feels like that's what she signed up for. She signed up for this double mission, and the double mission is that of light and dark, to be a shining light in darkness, literally. If you can see how this person's still glowing within the darkness. But to be the shining light, you have to kind of become the darkness. You kind of have to experience the darkness to be able to shine through it, to be able to transmute it. It's almost like her diaries was her way of transmuting the darkness. It's like everything that lied within was put on paper, which is kind of what a diary is, really. Serve the world by being you. She was serving the world by writing her most truest, most authentic feelings and emotions and experiences down on paper. It's funny because already authenticity is being brought up, and all the other kind of celebrity, famous energies that I've connected with have all brought up this message of authenticity and being authentic in some way. But with this, learning how to be human in a world but not of it, it's almost like I'm getting like ascended master kind of energy. I don't know whether she's become one or whether she was one in another life, or whether she's like a powerful being from another realm or dimension that came to Earth, but it's almost like she had to come here and she had to play that role and she had to experience that. And it almost feels like her having these lessons was in conjunction to other lives, if that makes sense. Almost like she had to come here to learn something to take somewhere else. With her being in this like capsule, it's almost like it's a time capsule, or like a teleportation device, kind of. And I hope I hope I'm not sounding too out there with what I'm saying or with the way I'm interpreting the messages. But it's almost like she was not of this earth, learning how to be human in a world but not of it. For some reason, I'm getting that she could see clearly. Like, she could see, yeah, she could see clearly, especially with this individual's third eye being glowing. It's almost like she saw the purpose to her life and the reasons why she had to experience it. And for some reason, it's almost like she had less, like there wasn't as much self-pity or self-loathing than you would expect from somebody in that kind of situation. It's almost like she saw the truth or saw why. It's not that she had to agree with what was happening, but she saw why, or she saw something deeper behind what was going on. That her having to hide away was completely necessary in some way. And I don't really want to say it, but I just feel called to say it, and it's almost like it was justified, is the way I'm feeling. And I know you can't justify like somebody suffering, but I have to just say what's coming, what feels right to me, what feels true with what energy is giving. Because I'm getting this energy like she's at peace, but not that she's at peace now. It's almost like she's always been at peace. I've not read her diary, but she's saying like if you read the diary, if you read the diary, there is an energy of peace within the diary. And for some reason, it's almost like channeling, like she was channeling, but she's writing her emotions up. It's almost like I'm getting like when she was writing, it's like the universe was flowing through her. Okay. So, I feel like I mentioned it already in this video, something to do with like imagination, or yes, that imagination kind of kept them from going insane. I'm now being brought to that. It's like it wasn't necessarily imagination, it was more the universe, divinity, like being connected to source, connecting to source, finding ways to connect to source. And it's almost like that diary was a way to connect to source, and not necessarily just source, but herself, deeper parts of herself, which is source. She was able to tap into the depths of her being and use it to create. And it was a diary that she created, but like a diary of truth, a diary of personal knowledge and personal experience. And I can't explain it, but it's like that diary meant so much more, and it did become so much more than just being a little girl's diary. For some reason, it just feels like there's an element of her being that knew. I think I would have said that as well, but it feels like there's an element of her being that just knew the sacredness, the divinity of what this life experience was, of what this diary was, what she was experiencing. I just feel like a sense of inner peace. And again, that's not to say she wasn't scared or worried, because she was still a young woman, a little girl, but within us, our soul knows so much more. Okay, let's pull another card. Let's go with the Keepers of Light and see what we have coming forward. Kalima. Facing fear, major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. So with that major fear, again, it's not that she didn't, that she wasn't afraid, but she knew that it was so much more. She knew that there was an element of her growing, an element of evolution, life lessons that she had to learn, something sacred, a chance to soar, that this life experience that she was experiencing was a chance to soar. And it's more of a inner knowing than maybe a conscious kind of thing. But when you have them inner knowings, it's those inner knowings that kind of are the workings of your being. It's kind of the things that are integrated. It's quite often our subconscious mind that we are living, that we are expressing, rather than our conscious mind. And it's almost like her subconscious mind was at peace with what was happening, because it had a deeper understanding. It had clear sight when maybe her conscious mind didn't. Okay, let's see what else the cards are saying for Anne Frank. For some reason I'm getting misunderstood. Not just that she was misunderstood, there's an element of Hitler that was misunderstood, I'm getting. White eagle, ancestor spirit, connect to your lineage, a family wound or pattern can be healed now. Okay. For some reason, I'm making a connection to the Michael Jackson channeling that I did yesterday. And what she's saying to me through this card is that she's basically kind of asking us to make a change. And what I was getting is to change our perspective on her. And she's saying, like, it's not just her. There's a lot of people that have been a part of Earth and Earth's journey and Earth's journey towards ascension that we need to change our perspective on. And she's making me feel that it's down to us, because once the person leaves Earth, as in crosses over to the next life or to the afterlife or to wherever, that their energies, there's a part of their energy that's anchored to Earth, and that energy is here and it can assist us in the evolution or the expansion of Earth, or it can kind of draw us back. But it's about obviously everything that person's been through, but also our perception of them. Again, Michael was saying that when we basically, like, the collective has a dual perspective on Michael, and that now became a part of his energy, the light side of him in terms of his music and his healing and his love, and then the child allegation side of it. That part has also become a part of his energy. And it's that there's lots of people who have that the collective is attached to a lot of darkness. Therefore, we're attaching a lot of darkness to their energy that they have left behind. And the fact that their energy is here and they are there, they can't physically change it because they're not in their meat suit to change it, if that makes sense. The energy is just now here. I can't explain it, but we need to clear certain ideologies or certain thoughts about certain people. Well, basically, I just feel like it's about basically she's making me feel whoever the media are putting out for us to have negative opinions on, especially when it comes near their death or the fact that they have died and now they want to swing a negative narrative on them, that we need to be mindful and be watchful of that, to not kind of engage in that, because it affects us on a grand scheme. It helps usher in negative agendas because you're anchoring negative energy to these beings that have left their energies behind. And it's often like celebrities who are connected to the masses. Now, when it comes to her, she's saying there's an energy and an element of vulnerability and weakness, kind of, that's within her energy, and this is just what I'm getting from her, that there's an energy of vulnerability and weakness, and it's not an energy of vulnerability and weakness as in a negative thing. It's more so like a sympathy, a empathy that we have for Anne Frank, and when we think about Anne Frank and what she had gone through, it's almost like remove that and replace that with strength, replace that with courage, replace that with determination, replace that with fight. It's important that what we choose to think and what we choose to express, because that is like very poignant to our times. It's like on the outside she was this young fragile girl, but on the inside she was an old soul, a wise woman, a powerful woman, a strong woman, a matriarch, a leader. I just feel like she comes from a higher realm, or like I'm hearing a dynasty of something, or a dynasty of children. Is that even the right phrase? And I remember that something when I was doing the Aphrodite, when I was going into my meditation with, and the chalice of Aphrodite was revealed to me, her energy was around me then as well. And I was getting something to do with like her and Aphrodite and a connection, and maybe it's just the fact that she was like she's a powerful woman. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull one final card from the Kyle Gray Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck, and then we'll close our eyes and see what message we have coming forward. And we'll channel the message forward. Okay, let's just read this intention. I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned from this tool will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. Guardians of the four corners, Mother in the earth, Father in the sky, angels, ancestors, sacred ones, I call on you and welcome you here now. Okay, so we have two cards, but I'm just looking for one. So we're just going to shuffle until we get one. Fire Guardian, ignite your passion. For some reason, I'm feeling that times are going to get a bit tough, and they could get a bit tough. And it's about finding what ignites your passion, finding what stimulates your mind, finding what you can be creative in, but go deeper within yourself. As she did, as again, it was their imagination that kept them sane, connecting to source that kept them sane. Right. So let's just close our eyes. Let me just take a quick drink. we're feeling tentative, slightly anxious and a little bit nervous to speak, to express, to be heard, to be seen, to not be hidden away. I'm feeling anxious and nervous, more nervous and anxious than when I was behind the bookshelf, than when we was being hunted. I didn't realize that to be seen puts so much pressure on you. And to be seen is a fundamental part of being human because you're physical and the eyes see what's physical. And you are physical, therefore you are seen. Being behind the bookshelf wasn't as hard as many may think. A huge part of it was tranquility and security and safety and feeling protected. Not in the sense of being completely protected from danger, but in the sense of appreciating that we was maybe more safe than many others, that we lasted a lot longer than many others, that I had the chance to go deeper, to leave a legacy, to leave something behind when many others didn't. I was able to shine a light for not just the Jews that were killed, but for all the oppressed, for black people, for women, for those that are silenced, for children, for those that just want to be seen, to be heard, to be felt. The book was so much more. The book meant so much more. It became so much more, and it will be so much more. And that book will never die. That diary of my heart. As you flick through the pages, you flick through the pages in the folds of my heart. As you flick through the pages, you flick through the layers of my eyes, of what I saw, what I experienced. As you flick through the layers, you flick through my thoughts. As you flick through the layers, you flick through my pain. As you flick through the pages, you flick through me. You get to discover what it's like for yourself to be in the confines of a bookshelf for 2 years. You get to find out what it's like for you to have that experience, because I am an extension of you, and you are an extension of me, and we are an extension of we. I see you in me. Do you see me in you? You must remove many emotions, many feelings, many thoughts that you have about me and others, As Benji, I Naphtali, has already said, I am not fragile or weak or brittle. I'm strong and capable, and I was worthy to live the life that I lived. I was the right candidate for the job, for the task, for the mission, for the light. Many others that you think about, that you label as being a bad person or a criminal, they was here to do a job, to fulfill a role, just as you are, just as we are, just as we all are. And we need to be able to just see people for fulfilling roles that somebody would have had to fill, instead of holding judgment and anchoring denser energies than we need to. There are ways of thinking that can serve us and ways of thinking that cannot. There are ways of thinking that can preserve life and ways of thinking that can bring you to an early death. Myself, my family, our thought became our nourishment. We was able to use our thoughts to keep us going, and yes, there was times when it was hard, and yes, there was times when we was mentally drained, but your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts determine what energies your bodies react to. You have thoughts of happiness and joy, and your body reacts to that vibration. You have thoughts of lack and loss and fear, your body reacts to that vibration. And you begin to create a reality that is in accordance to that vibration. It's important to always remember that your thoughts become things. And that things don't become your thoughts. So you must always remain in control. Take lead of your body, of your mental state, of your connection to source, to creativity, to passion. And once you begin to establish a connection to your passion, to your positive thoughts, to your life force, that energetic currency will begin to flow throughout your body. And you'll begin to have a life of abundance, of wonder, of joy, of happiness, of security in every way. But you must let go of the lower vibrational thoughts. And not necessarily let go, but own them and accept them, not dwell on them. If I dwelled on my situation and I didn't go deeper and look deeper, I doubt the diary would even be able to express a month of my time there. I shall not speak too long. I've written enough. I thank you with my whole heart. Earthly blessings. Ashe. Okay. I'm not sure if the message came out fluid and smoothly or clear. I'm most definitely gonna give this a watch back and see how I feel about this video and this connection, and hopefully it'll be out. And I'd just like to take a moment to thank Anne Frank and the energies around her, and my spirit team, and my guardian angels, for these messages of love and light. And I thank you for being present with me and engaging with me and being on this journey with me. Peace and love. Ashe.